All right, a completely unplanned video, but I'm going to jump into this because I am so into pushing this agenda. It's not even funny. What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another trade type free agent, not a free agent, but a trade video here for my agenda that I'm going to push. Sit down with me, leave a like if you enjoy, subscribe. I'm going to tell you guys why the New York Rangers should trade for Rutger McGroarty. And I just think this is such a slam dunk of an idea for the Rangers to do that it's almost too good of a slam dunk that I just worry that they're not going to do it. Granted, I will say that there are going to be plenty of other teams that are going to be in on this. And you might be asking, why would the Winnipeg Jets give up on this guy? They just drafted him recently. Guy lit up the NCAA, guy lit up the World Juniors level. Why would they move this guy? Well, if you are not on Twitter or anything like that, apparently he wants out of Winnipeg, and it's not because of, I know we joke about Winnipeg on the channel all the time, but it's not because of that. Apparently it's because Winnipeg is not going to sign him, and they feel they don't have a clear path to get him to be a full-time NHLer next year. He feels that he's ready to be an NHLer. I'm not sure if he committed back to Michigan for next year or not, but all I know is that if he didn't, and even if he did, the Rangers should be all over this. And I'm going to give my case in point why, even though I think it's fairly obvious. So why would the Rangers want this guy? I don't know, because he's one of the most highly regarded prospects in the NHL, number one. Let's right off the rip say that. Number two, in the NCAA this year, 52 points in 36 games, 16 goals, 36 assists. In the World Juniors, captain of the team, and everybody raves about the kid's leadership to begin with either way. This is a guy that is no slouch in terms of leadership, and you might be like, well, what kind of leadership is it to ask out of an organization? I could say that there is definitely something that smells weird with the whole thing of, Cutter Gauthier, and now this, where guys are being a little entitled at times in terms of their ice time and stuff like that. But there is the factor that people rave about his leadership. And I'm pretty sure Muse also got to coach him probably during this 2021-22 season with the U18 development team. Not entirely sure there, but regardless, there's a connection there. So you have to figure Muse would be all over the Rangers getting this guy to begin with. 9 points in 7 World Junior games as well. And then in terms of looking at the World Juniors, with scoring, he was 12th in the entire tournament in scoring with 9 points, and Gabe Perreault was ahead on the same team, which also could be incentivizing that played with 2 of your freaking prospects that you have, potentially even 3 as soon as the draft if the Rangers go the route of getting a guy like Emery or just any of the guys that were part of the USA team program and stuff. But regardless here, you get a guy that has familiarity with one of your other top prospects, and a guy that you would probably pair with your top prospect in the future in Gabe Perreault, because what a line that would be. What an idea to have potentially McGroarty on the left side, or center even if you want to, and then have Gabe Perreault on his right wing. You are setting yourself up to have a ridiculously, no, I shouldn't say ridiculously, because we don't know how prospects will pan out. Obviously, it's up in the air. It's magic beans at the end of the day. But you're setting yourself up to at least have a very good chance to get a really nice core put together. You already have, I tweeted this out, your forward group that you could probably pencil in for the next few years, assuming Othman's not part of this deal. You have Brennan Othman, you got Gabe Perreault, Lafreniere's here for the long haul, Will Cooley, Adam Edstrom, Matt Rempe, McGroarty if you bring him in. You have 7 forwards right there potentially to have as your core, and 3 of those guys are probably sure top 6 gets, and McGroarty would be one of those guys, is what I mean, if they were to get him. In terms of NCAA production, he was 9th in the NCAA in scoring with 52 points. Again, behind Gabe, though. But very good players ahead of him. Very good players ahead of him. And Boston College, a lot of players from that program there. So a guy that was not from the program there being up here, pretty good stuff. And also played with Gavin. I'm pretty sure he was on a line with Gavin Bradley. You could correct me if I'm wrong. Anyone that does keep up with the NCAA, I'm not going to sit here and pretend I'm some expert. In terms of your trade comparable, I think it's very obvious that your trade comparable is Cutter Gauthier, which costed Jamie Drysdale and a 2nd-round pick. I do want to switch my thing here so you guys can see it better, which was, like I said, Drysdale and a second for Gauthier. Carter Gauthier is a highly regarded prospect, more highly regarded than McGroarty. You could make the case, and in terms, I don't have an armchair GM trade, but I want to propose potentially ideas, and I want you guys to let me know what you think. And I know people are going to say too much of an overpay, this and that, potentially, with some of these guys, but hear me out. What if you move a Capo Caco, plus the problem is you don't have a lot of second-round picks, where you could either trade your first, collect seconds, move one of them in the deal, and then you still have a second-round pick, or you move your 30th pick, which I honestly don't think is the worst idea, and you get rid of Caco, because now then you're shedding salary, you're getting a highly regarded prospect anyway, where 30, more magic beans, and it's more of a question of will that guy ever be a top prospect, where McGroarty, they're already talking the guy has potential to be a bona fide top 6 winger, and that, again, you know, we'll see what happens with that. Obviously, magic beans for now, and it's up in the air, but I'm willing to take the chance. If it's Caco in the 30th pick, would do that. Do you maybe move Hedel in this type of deal? Because Hedel, what's his value right now with the concussions? I don't know, but all I know is Winnipeg's probably looking for guys that will help them win next year. Who better than Phil Hedel, especially because they need centers, and they need a guy that has control on him, because not a lot of guys want to stay in Winnipeg, quite frankly. And what do you know? You have 3 years of Phil Hedel under contract if you were Winnipeg, of course, and you were to trade for a guy like Phil Hedel in this sort of deal. So I propose to you, or you could go the route, and I don't want them to move Othman in this kind of deal, but I wouldn't also hate if they moved Othman, and maybe it would be a later draft pick then instead. Maybe it would be a 3rd round pick instead of a 1st if you were to go that route. I'm just spitballing ideas there, but like I mentioned, you are talking about making this prospect pool, and I didn't even mention some of the other guys they have in the pool. Like, they obviously have Lamar. They also have, I always butcher his name. Sorry if I say his name wrong. But Millar, I think that's how you say his name. Millar. I don't know. Again, I'm sorry if I'm butchering that name. You have Adam Sikora, though. McConnell Barker's still in the system. You still have a guy like, why am I blanking on his name? Brett Berard. I don't know why I skipped past Brett Berard entirely. But chances are, out of all the forwards I mentioned, you have like 10 to 12 forward prospects. Chances are a good amount of them are going to hit. And why not add to your plethora there? Because let's also not pretend that the New York Rangers are probably going to be in a cap crunch sooner rather than later. Why not get a guy that's going to have control and sign an ELC and could make an impact on your damn roster? Why not add that to your team? Like, why not add a young forward that will have control, that will be on an ELC for 3 years, starting either this upcoming season or next season? Why not have that when you're going to have to pay Lafreniere, when Panarin is still on the books, Zibanejad all these years, Trocheck all these years, Fox all these years, Trouba all these years, and then you're going to have to pay Igor. Why not get a guy that will be on an ELC and will be there? And the only counter argument that I'm willing to hear in the comments, and that is acceptable, is that another team might offer a better package. And at that point, fair. Like, there's nothing you can do at that point, right? But if Chris Drury is not at least making a phone call, I mean, every GM in general should be making a phone call to get this guy. But if Drury isn't, I'd be very disappointed. And all I could say is, if you disagree that this would be a smart move for the Rangers to take a chance on this, I don't know. I just don't agree with that personally. Again, you're entitled to your own opinion. At the end of the day, it's hockey. We're going to disagree on things. But I just think this is such a slam dunk of a move that it just makes too much sense that you have to at least make an effort to get the guy. Like, there's no reason not to, at the very least. But again, nothing you could do if there's a better trade package that from another team. Like, at that point, you throw your hands up and say, all right, well, we tried, but better package. At that point, fair. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Don't forget to leave a like if you haven't already. Don't forget to subscribe. Turn on your notifications so you know when I upload or go live next. I'll see you guys in the next one.